How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to teach you how to create a title page and a background information scene that you'll need for your project. So the first thing you're going to do is we need to get rid of this cat here. So kill the cat. The first thing we need to do is we need to change our stage. We need two different stages for this. The first one is just going to be the introduction or the credits. So I'm just going to randomly choose a color here, and then I can put the title of my project. So it could be my name. I'm just going to put Social Studies Project, and then I'm going to put my name. Great. So I have Social Studies Project, Mr. Cobbs, there it is. And I'm going to need one more backdrop, and this backdrop is going to be a different color. So our audience knows that there's a change. And I'm going to choose some more fun colors. Dark blue, light blue. And I'm going to use the paint here, and I'm going to use this this blend right here. So it kind of fades down. Alright, great. So this is my start. This is the one I'm going to go to, which will have my information. The next thing I need to do is I need to create a button. So I need a button is going to be a sprite, and I'm going to choose this guy right here, this little Paint New Sprite button. And I'm going to make a circle, and let's make our circle yellow, because this thing's yellow. So I'm going to fill right here, make it kind of ovally. Don't worry about where it's here because you can move it. And then in the text, I'm going to put start. S-T-A-R-T. And then I'm going to drag it and center it. Great. And I'm going to put this here. And I want this to always be here. So when I go to scripts, I need a code to let the game know that when the game starts, this start button goes here. Now one of the cool things about Scratch is that anytime you move something, if you notice over here, there's a change made on the XY axis. So you just put where you want to go. You don't have to actually look to where it is. It does it for you. I go events when the green flag is clicked, and then I'm going to go to motion and go to here. So every time I start, it's going to be here where I want it. For example, if I accidentally move it down here, I click the green button, it starts where it's supposed to be. But the big thing is we want it to do something for us. So we want it every time this sprite is clicked, that makes it a button. When this sprite is clicked, we want it to switch to backdrop number 2. So it's like turning this thing on. But at the same time, we don't want to see the start button forever. So we need to click hide. When this sprite is clicked, we want it to hide. But if we did the program again, after we pushed it one time, it wouldn't show up. Let me show what I'm talking about. So it changed, perfect. When I click the green flag, it doesn't go back. So we need to click show here. And we also need the backdrop to be the original one, number 1. So now let's try again. So when the green flag is clicked, it's going to switch to backdrop 1. The button will show up, and it'll go right where we want in the center. And then when I click on the sprite, it's going to switch to backdrop 2, and then it's going to hide. Great. So you're almost there. The next thing we need to do is to write in the actual information, or to give that background knowledge before the game actually begins. So I click on Paint New Sprite, and all this is going to be is text. Now I want to choose a color that's going to be nice and bright or contrast with this backdrop here. So I'm going to choose yellow. Then I'm going to start typing. This is where your background information... Uh-oh, look, I ran out of space. Let me stop and push enter. This is where your background information will go. Please remember to code the movement. Also, be careful with your grammar and spelling. Great. Now I have this. I'm going to click on this arrow up here to make sure this is centered. Okay. And I'm going to click away. And if you notice over here, it's nice and bright, so I can see it very nicely. And what I want to do is I want to go to my scripts and I want to code it to do what I want. And what I want it to do is I want it to start at the top and kind of come down like this. That's it. And then go away. So what I do is I put it where I want it. So I click and drag and I move it where I want it to go. Now I go to events. When the green flag is clicked, when the first thing starts, I don't want anyone to see it because there's that button page. Hide. But I want it to appear at the right time. I want it to appear when the backdrop changes. So when the backdrop changes to background number 2, I want this thing to go to where it's currently at, and I want it to go all the way down here. So I click and drag where I want it to go, like this. And I'm not just going to click go to there, I'm going to click glide to there. That means it's going to move down. And the speed at which it goes down there is up to you based on the seconds. So let's run this one time so you can see what I'm talking about. Click the green flag, perfect. The text hid. I click start, the backdrop changes. Oh, but you can't see it. See, I click hid here, but I didn't click show. So I click looks, show. Let's try again. Click start. Whoa, that's too fast. So it did show, it started up here, and then it went all the way down there. Looks like it needs to be moved over just a little bit. So I'm going to delete this one, go back to my glide and put this one here so it's a little more straight down. Let's slow it down a little bit. Instead of getting from point A to point B in 1 second, let's make it 5 seconds. So now let's try. Social Studies Project, push start. There we go. Now you can kind of read it. Some people are fast readers, some people are not fast readers. So let's slow it down just a little bit for those not so fast readers. Great. If you noticed, it still wasn't perfectly going down straight. Instead of trying to eyeball it, what you can do is you can just look here on your scripts right here, and it says y202, y negative 207. So instead of 7, let's make this 202. So this is positive 202, this is negative 202. And this is 4, and this is negative 4. Now it should be a straight line. There we go. That's better. Alrighty. So that's it. That's how you're going to start your game. The next scene will then be whatever it is you're doing. So then you just need to code that in there. Like, for example, if I were to make another sprite or another backdrop, you are going to need to create the backdrop, create the sprite, and then show when it turns to backdrop 3. Thank you. Hopefully this was informative. If you have any questions, you can always watch this again, or feel free to email me. Thank you very much.